Come, Holy Spirit, come. Come, Holy Spirit, come. I want to let you know that next week when you show up to St. John the Baptist, something's going to be different in your pews. What's going to be different is we're getting new hymnals, all right? So we're going from the purple hymnal, which is a one in faith. We're going from the red hymnal, which is the gather one, into the purple one, which is one in faith. Maybe asking yourself, Father, why are you preaching about hymnals? Was it a hard week? It was, I'll be honest, right? It was hard to come up with some ideas, but also just the realization that it's going to be a change, right? Since 2012, I believe, here at St. John the Baptist, we've been using this hymnal of Gather. But there's a couple issues we've run across. Even one of the first things we ran across was this still has the old Mass translations in it. Remember that the Mass translation changed in 2011, hence we got these books for a discount, by the way, all right? But just to how to, this different Mass settings, they don't work in here because the words are different. And so as we looked at new hymnals, one of the hymnals we want to make sure it had was probably one of the Mass things we use the most the last couple of years has been Mass of Wisdom, which is in here. But there's some other Mass settings as well. We're actually going to start a new Mass setting next week. So Carrie's going to send out an email this week, probably in our weekly update. And in there's even going to be, you can listen to the Mass settings ahead of time, because we're kind of familiar with what we use now, but it's encouraging us to sing along. Also, just want to let you know that we put a committee together, and there's a whole world out there of what Catholic hymnal should you choose? I'm not part of that world, right? That's just, I don't want to get involved in that. I said, what is the parish? Where do we want to go? So we had a couple of different options, and we came up with this one from One in Faith. And we're looking forward to it. But I also want to let you know there's going to be some songs that maybe we've sung before and we sing a lot that is no longer going to be in this hymnal. Now, the reason for that, well, this can't fit every single hymn, right? Also, we know that in this red hymnal, there's actually songs in here right now that we can't sing. So United States Catholic Council of Bishops, about 5-6 years ago, came up with a list of songs that are theologically incorrect. Usually comes around the Eucharist, by the way. And so there's songs we can't sing. There's even some composers in this one that we won't use anymore. But we wanted to find a hymnal that would be kind of a step from one way to the other, still keeping us as St. John the Baptist, but also being able to introduce some new songs. It's always good to learn new songs, isn't it? Especially when they speak the truth. But there also be some sadness, so we're leaving maybe some hymns that we're not going to sing anymore. Now, I know for myself, when we got the new hymn, when we looked at new hymns, I said, Carrie is my favorite song in there. She said, Father, you have a lot of favorite songs. You have a lot of favorite things. I go, I do. She goes, oh, God Beyond All Praising is in here. I said, okay, great. What about my favorite song when I was in 2nd and 3rd grade? As she looked at me, she's like, not a chance. Now, that hymn is in this red hymnal. It's number 581. Guess what? We've never sang it since I've been here. All right? It's not because my choice, but actually it is, because actually theologically there's probably some lines in there that don't make sense. But I remember as a 2nd and 3rd grader at St. Michael's in West St. Paul. It's not even there anymore, by the way. The church isn't. My favorite song in school masses, it seemed like every single school mass was, I Say Yes, My Lord. Digo si, Señor. It's only Spanish I knew then, and pretty much only Spanish I know now as well. But I just remember singing this song with so much gusto. Like we sing it pretty much every single week, but I pretty much had it memorized. It's a pretty easy song. So if you want to look it up, you can. It's number 581. But in case you don't know how it goes, this is how it goes. I say yes, my Lord, in all the good times, through all the bad times. I say yes, my Lord, to every word you speak. And then it goes to the verses. I'm a servant of the Lord. I say yes, my Lord. And the chorus goes, I say yes, my Lord. Then we switch it up sometimes. I'm a worker in the fields. Digo si, Señor. Digo si, Señor. Digo. Yeah, you get it. All right, great. So, it's a catchy tune, but actually at least the chorus part I realized from 2nd and 3rd grade is that often in my life now, I go back to that song. Am I going to say yes to the Lord or not? I'm going to say yes to him in good times? Of course I will. But what about in bad times? What about in challenging times? Can I still say yes? You know, we go to our gospel today, and we can be honest about this gospel. It's like, whew, this is a hard gospel to hear. How does it start out? If anyone comes to me without hating his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Now, of course, Benedict George is about to get baptized, and I really hope he does not hate Steele and Emily, right? So what is Jesus meaning here? He wants to make a point. And that point is we have to love the Lord our God above everything else. And if people or things, possessions get in the way, that means we're saying yes to them instead of the Lord. You know, this past Friday, we had the first time opportunity to celebrate the Mass universally for St. Teresa of Calcutta, Mother Teresa. At the age of 18, she left her family behind in Kosovo, and she went to the Sisters of Loreto, eventually, of course, starting the Missionary Sisters of Charity. Did she leave them because she hated her parents, her family? Absolutely not. That's not why she left them. But she left them because she felt the Lord was calling her to something different, calling her into this vocation. Of course, as this gospel goes on, what does Jesus say? To follow me, you better count the cost. You better see this is what we need to do. So he uses these different analogies, saying if you're truly going to follow me, you have to be prepared to do it wholeheartedly. Even to the point we hear as well, any one of you who does not renounce all his possessions cannot be my disciple. Now we know that's a hyperbole because we know that even some of his disciples, Martha and Mary, Lazarus, they had possessions, but they weren't letting them get in the way of the Lord. And so for us as well, it really comes down to, are we going to choose the Lord or not? Are we going to say yes to him in good times and in bad times? I want to go back to this. It wasn't our first reading today, but I really always am inspired by the book of Joshua in the Bible. And so it's Joshua 24. It's the last chapter of Joshua. And he's going to the Israelites over and over again. This like, please, please choose the Lord. And what do the Israelites do over and over and over again? They say yes, but they don't actually do it. So it's Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. He finally goes and he says this. If it is displeasing to you to serve the Lord, choose today whom you will serve. The gods of your ancestors, served beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose country you are dwelling. As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. What does it look like to serve the Lord? It means truly we're going to say yes to him. Why? Because we believe as Christians, we believe as Catholics that what does God want? He wants the best for us. He truly does. Now, sometimes there can be fear in that if I say, yes, Lord, what's he going to take away? That's a negative way of looking at it. Instead, we'd say, if we say, yes, Lord, what is he going to give? You know, this morning, Pope Leo canonized 2 new saints. We're going to have them in the litany of saints today as well. It's so beautiful we get to do this, right? So St. Carlos Acutis and St. Pier Giorgio. 2 examples of people who truly said yes to the Lord, both leaving wealth behind or prestige or just being a teenager and giving into different things and instead saying yes, Lord. And what did they receive? When we look at their life, when you look at all the pictures of them, what are they doing? Are they like, oh, I have to say yes to the Lord? They're smiling. Why? Because the Lord is going to bestow his great goodness upon them, as he did. And we want to follow in that example as well. We can also go back to St. Augustine. We know this, right? That our heart is restless until it rests in who? Until it rests in God. And so today as we look at this gospel and we just realize, okay, what it really means, what Jesus is saying is that we need to say yes to him. In all the good times, but also in those times that are hard or challenging. Why? So when we live through, with, and in him, he's going to fulfill all that we long for. So my brothers and sisters, let's continue to say yes to the Lord in good times and in bad, and saying yes to everything he asks of us.